Hey, welcome to the Bluejay Banter post-game show. We're live here at Let It Fly Sports Bar in downtown Omaha. The Jays 75-65 win over DePaul. We're going to go right into Coach's Corner because I got my longtime friend, JAHENNS MANIGAT here. It was kind of ugly.
Whenever you start off a show with a deep sigh like that, I don't quite know where we're going to go.
We had about a 5-minute spurt there where it looked good. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, you know, no game is easy in the Big East, obviously, and every team has a set of different challenges that we were trying to just, you know, fix the puzzle of. So, you know, tonight was no different. You know, DePaul, they're missing 3 of their main players.
No
you know,
kidding.
You have a bunch of guys on there who are probably eager and looking for their opportunity, and they played hard all night, so you got to give them credit for that. But, you know, I'm with you. There's some times where we looked really great out there, and there's some times that we probably want to throw that film away, but you know, that's the ups and downs of a basketball season. That's the ups and downs of a basketball game. And, you know, the good thing about that is we get to look at our mistakes. We get to try and fix them tomorrow in practice and see if we could go on this last little road trip here and do something positive.
This is Mr. Positive here, by the way. If you don't know, I've dealt with him for years. He's always positive, always looking for the bright side. Mm-hmm. Did Mac smash something at halftime and go, look, they have a 6'2" guy guarding Kalkbrenner. Can we get the ball inside, please? Because then it looked like we had a definite plan in the second half. The ball went into him a lot.
Right, and I felt he was also more assertive, too. I think he recognized the opportunities that he was kind of missing in that first half a little bit. And, you know, a guy like Kalk, he gets so much attention from the other team. They're always game planning around him. So, you know, sometimes it happens where first half, you know, I thought he played actually, like, decent. I'd like to go back and watch the film one more time to see if that actually confirms my little bias that I have there. But I just felt like he was really assertive, especially in that first 4 or 5 minutes of the second half. And obviously, as he goes, we go. And I thought he did a good job of coming out of halftime with kind of a different focus.
Yeah. And then they kind of like 9-8 minute mark. Then they kind of went fully to double teaming him every time because they were like, okay, we can't let this go on anymore.
What else can you do?
And then we didn't handle that the greatest at times. You know,
and it's something that we also have to be ready for. You know, like again, DePaul, because 2 of their big fellas are out, they're playing. You know, with only 1 guy down there, and they did a whole bunch of stuff to, you know, scramble out of the post and double team Kalk as best as they could. So, you know, opportunities like that may happen. Kalk may be in a situation later down the line where he fouls out or doesn't foul out, but he puts 2 bigs in foul trouble. What are we going to do then? So it's good to see that film. And, you know, like I always say, if there's one person I trust, especially about offensive strategy, is Coach Mack. He's going to have a look at the film and he's going to devise a plan, and you know, the guys are going to have to execute it, and it'll work. So it's good to see stuff like that. We don't always see it, especially against Kalk, which, you know, that also is troubling to me, why teams don't double team him as much as, you know, if I was an opposing coach, I would. But, again, we have a backup plan for that, and, you know, we just have to execute.
Well, we've talked about this with other people throughout the show. It's like, didn't see this tonight, but normally they dribble in, they dribble out, they dribble in, dribble out, dribble in, dribble out. They do this for like 5, 10, 50. Finally, one guy goes, oh, come on, this can't be that tough. And then, then it gets sent into the third row. Then it's like dribble in, dribble out, dribble in. We didn't see much of that tonight. They were pretty much on the perimeter all night, except when they switched. I can't remember the guy's name, but on Ashworth, and he kind of backed Steven down a few times.
Yeah, Rivera did a good job of just, you know, either he did it off his switch or just dribble him down. And, you know, he's actually, for being his size, being 6'4", 6'5", he's actually a pretty good post player. So it's something that we saw on film leading up to the week. We, you know, had a plan defensively for that I don't think we executed too well. So again, it'll be something that we'll have to go back, because, you know, this is kind of like a copycat situation when teams see that other teams have success against us, they try to emulate that best of their ability. So it'll be something that we're going to have to work on. You know, it's not going to be the last time that teams see Steven as a guy that they could post up and attack with their bigger guards. So again, it's up to us to execute a plan. And, you know, I thought for the limited practice time that we had this week for that, I thought we did a pretty good job. But, again, there's definitely some stuff that we need to clean up.
I don't have to tell you this, but, man, Mason got in there his first shift, just flew around, got some rebounds, really hustled, man. I gave him a standing O when he came off, man. That was a great effort. And I said, tonight's night. And he got that open 3. And the whole crowd, it just like, that roof would have went off the place.
Right.
They're so wanting him to get one to go down, because it's different if a guy shot 50% from 3 for 15 games. Okay?
Right.
He's done it for 2 years. He's been one of the best three-point shooters in the Big East. So it's not like he can't shoot the basketball. It's just, oh, man, I so wanted him to get that. I so wanted him to get that.
Us as a coaching staff, you guys as fans, everyone we're all rooting for him. And, one thing about him, he'll stay after practice. He'll get his shots up. So it's only a matter of time until it starts to click again. What I tell him is just to go out there and play free. And I love that he's kind of adopted to this kind of like defensive Swiss Army knife. Yeah, where he just he's flying around, he's getting stopped, he dives for loose basketballs on the floor. He crashes offensive rebounds, he boxes out hard. So he's doing all the little things. And the basketball gods have this thing of rewarding guys who play the right way. And, as much as he's had issues shooting the ball this season, he's done everything else correctly. And he's accepted his new role on this team. Things are a bit different with the guys that we lost and how this team is kind of put together. He's accepted that, and he's come in every day in good faith and trying to work hard to get back to where he was. But, again, I do not doubt that there's going to be a time this year where he's going to make 2, 3, 4 of them, and they're going to come at a critical time. And all of this will be vindication for him.
Maybe in the Big East tournament.
Or maybe beyond that. I would rather be beyond that, in my opinion. But,
we kind of want to get Mac a title one of these years.
Say what now?
We kind of want to get Mac one of those postseason titles.
No, yes, absolutely.
And to be honest, this is one of our better years. I mean, unless we really screw up here, okay?
Right.
We're going to get the 2 seed. So we got a good seed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and we've had the 2 seed before.
You just kind of want to stay away that 1 and 4 because that's where UConn and St. John's are. So we're out of that. Right. So, and yeah, we might get matched up with Georgia, but now they don't have Sorber anymore. So now, hey, that opens that up. So, hey, things are looking, I know I'm getting way ahead, but, St. John's was able to pull that game out tonight. That was their chance to lose one right there.
We switched it on right after that game, and who we were rooting for to win it. But, again, we can only handle what we can handle. The other teams are going to do what they do.
Look,
but
I keep telling people this is Mac's best coaching job ever. I mean, if you'd have told people when Pop went down that we were going to be in second place, and second place by game at this point in the season, people have said, you're nuts, especially if you started 1 and 2, you know?
And Mitch and I talk about this often because I'm always around him in the office and everything, kind of throwing ideas back and forth at each other. Every once in a while, we'll sit back and be like, can you believe that's the same team that we took to Vegas? And, again, kudos to those guys in that locker room, to the stick-to-itiveness. They went through a bit of hardship there at the beginning of the season, and I'm sure they heard it from people who were just like, hey, this is not the best version of a Creighton basketball team and things of that nature. But they stuck together. They kind of reassessed everything, and they went hand in hand with us as a coaching staff to try and figure out the best way to put our foot forward. So, those guys stuck together, and, everything that you guys are seeing on the floor right now is a result of that.
Yeah. Jays went 75-65. We're talking with JAHENNS MANIGAT. If you had to name one player from the beginning of the year, maybe back in August, till now that's improved most, who would it be?
There's I have a couple of favorites on this team when it comes to that particular question. I think obviously Jemiah Neal is the number one that pops in my head. Just, when I first met him and introduced myself as a coach to him, train him individually to where he's at right now. Coach Trey has been doing a fantastic job of, helping him get his extra reps up and everything, making sure that he's focused on a day in, day out basis. And just the growth that he's shown as far as basketball IQ even, from when he first stepped foot on campus to where he's at now. I think he's kind of night and day. Ty Davis is one of those guys who he doesn't get a lot of minutes out there, but if you guys see him at practice every day, he's getting absolutely better every single day.
Yes.
And again, here's a guy who, can bring a lot to the table, but it's very tough to play in front of two senior like Kalk and Steven. Getting the bulk of those minutes is very tough if you're a backup at those positions to get some minutes. So he kind of understands where he's at, but he shows up every day and he works his tail off. I love those two guys. I think, in my opinion, they've improved the most on our team.
I would agree with you wholeheartedly on those two. Another guy thrown there is Fred. I think Fred has really grown. Like tonight when he came in, like he would not have done what he did when he missed that shot and got it. He was underneath the basket, and something not good would have happened 2 years ago. Tonight, just powered that ball up.
Right. And again, he kind of falls into the same line as Ty Davis, where you're behind Steven, you're behind Kalk. It's very difficult to be back up to those guys because they rarely come off the floor for us. And it's a tough situation to be in sometimes, but those guys show up every day. They work hard. Big Fred, I would also put him in that Ty Davis, Big Fred, but maybe a tie for second there. But between those three guys, man, there's a lot of hours that no one sees. That it shows itself on game day.
Fred's footwork's got a lot better too tonight. When he got in there and then got switched on like the guards, like they were trying to
go at him.
Gauge Kalk and a little bit. And so when Fred got in there, they were like, I think a little bit. You could tell a couple of them were a little bit stunned back that he was out there, man. He was going to guard you, and they were like, whoa.
As big and strong and tall as he is, he can move his feet pretty well. And again, he's one of those guys who footwork and just overall tenacity is what he really needed to add to his game, and he's definitely done that this past offseason. It's manifested itself a couple of times during the year. Tonight was no different. And again, it's just kind of tough to get him extended minutes when you got a potential big defensive player or Big East Player of the Year and a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year as the starter. So again, it's a tough situation, but Fred shows up every day and he's got a big old smile on his face and he's ready to work. And good things happen to people like that.
Yeah,
I wholeheartedly believe that. I believe that I was one of those guys who showed up every day with a big old smile on my face, and the ball bounced my way more than a few times. I just trust and believe that guys who have that same kind of attitude and show that same kind of effort, the same things are going to happen for them too.
Same kind of thing. I asked somebody one day at practice with Townley, and I said, "Man, he's got some skills. What's the deal?" Is he's my Kalk and Fred.
Right. Yeah.
That's probably his biggest problem.
That is the biggest problem. Yeah, for sure.
What have you learned the most this year?
Oh, that there's a lot that goes into coaching. That there's a ton of work that goes into coaching. I always looked at it from a player standpoint. You just show up, you try your best, and you do what your coach asks you to do. And now being on this side, it's like, okay, like what's going to be our matchups? How do we fit this puzzle together for this particular game? What are our pet plays against this particular lineup? There's just so much film watching, film study, learning tendencies. What do they do with 2 minutes left in the game's, it's a 5-point game. Like teams have their tell, and it's up to you to kind of find that on film. And I've been honestly just diving into this situation of figuring out the best way to go about preparing for the next game, and what better coaching staff can I learn under than a MAC-led coaching staff. So I'm very thankful and grateful for that opportunity. And I learn something new every day, which I haven't been able to say for the past few years of playing professional. But now being on this side, I literally learn something new every single day. And kudos to those guys for kind of taking me under their wing and allowing me to make mistakes along the way, and correcting that and letting me be a voice out there as a coach.
Yeah, two things. One, there's nothing I hate worse when somebody says after game, well, we looked unprepared. What did you think they were doing, sitting around playing cards all week? You have no idea. Number two, as a player, did you think like, oh, they went in and watched film for a couple hours. They've got it all. Did you think it just like fell? Did you kind of just think it kind of just fell into place?
Because players watch film too.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
There's something about like the player's ego that like every once in a while you'll believe that you know a little bit more than a coach, but I promise you don't. I promise you, like I don't know if you guys can tell the bags under my eyes. I'm losing sleep trying to stay up and watch film. I know Mac has lost years and years and years of sleep trying to make sure that teams are as prepared as possible. So when you see teams go through tough stretches or things just aren't clicking, it's not for lack of effort. Like, I mean, coaches are out here trying their best. There's a reason why they're in the positions that they are. So there's a reason why they hire coaching staff to kind of make up for their weaknesses and kind of build on their strengths. So it's a collaborative effort. It's another thing that I learned. Everyone. I used to think like Mac just kind of had the final word on everything, but it's really just a back and forth of like minds who are obviously trying to put the best product out there. And every once in a while it can get pretty ugly in that coaches room when we have different ideas, but it's all about coming together, figuring out what the best idea is, and then trying to teach it to our guys and see if they can execute on game day.
Do you remember a specific time when you talked about finding those tendencies? Do you remember a specific time you found a tendency and then said, hey, this is the tendency, and then went in the game, and sure enough, it came true?
I think it was first time we played St. John's at home this year, and I was I've been tasked to kind of take care of late game situations, and just watching film after film leading up to that game, I just also noticed like what their press patterns are.
Okay.
So yeah, the first time I told Mac like, hey, listen, after free throws, they tend to be a little bit more aggressive. They'll trap and all that stuff. And I remember it came to fruition in the game, and I was just like, whoa, like, yeah, it's everything that I
Like,
saw on
yes.
film. That was maybe one of the first times that it all kind of clicked for me. And you kind of become addicted to that feeling. You keep trying to chase that feeling of like watching so much film that you're able to communicate these ideas to the other coaches who have, you know, a ton of experience for them to, one, not only agree with you, but also kind of devise a plan to go.
Because I'm sure you're new. It's easy for them to go,
right.
I don't know if I'm going to trust what he saw.
Well,
you know?
I mean, it's not only that, they're also watching film as well, you know. So
Yeah.
every once in a while, I come to a realization that someone's probably already thought of or mentioned before, and I'm kind of like a little bit late to the party in that sense. But, you know, that was one of the few times that it really clicked for me. And, again, you just kind of chase that feeling as a coach watching all that film. So, yeah, that was maybe one of the first times.
Not only did you find a tendency,
Mm-hmm.
you found a tendency against Rick effing Pitino.
Right. And again, I'm sure I'm not the
cool
first
is
one.
that?
I know. I'm sure I'm not the first one to think about something like
No, but
that.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, but you know, it's just
It
one of
wasn't
those
like Joe
things.
Schmo from, you know, southeast, you know, western Kentucky. It was Rick Pitino.
What I like the most about that particular one is, even though we lost that second game at Madison Square Garden, we handled that pressure so much better than we did that first time around. So it kind of goes to, again, our coaching staff coming up with a plan off of like perhaps something that I saw. And the person who actually gave me confidence to speak up that way is Mitch. Mitch every day has either new ideas or whatever, and he's not shy to let his voice be heard. And again, our coaching staff, they're really experienced. They have a ton of years amongst them coaching the game. So what I love about our staff is they allow me and Mitch to make mistakes. And if, you know, we say something that isn't quite right, they correct us. And you know, us as students of the game, we try to be the best sponges that we can be out there and just try to absorb all that information. And we just kind of, you know, keep moving forward. But Mitch has really inspired me to just, you know, kind of let my voice be heard. If I see something that I don't think we spoke on enough or whatever, I'll definitely let the coaching staff know.
Yeah, I can see you, you know, growing off of Mitch when you know, kind of, because he's early on too. Final question. So look, this is a really, 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 really good team we're playing Saturday. Yeah, so we've got to take a step here. You know, these last two games have been, and one you can kind of blame on Russ, but you can't blame that tonight. So we've got to take a big step because this is a really good team fighting for their NCAA lives, really.
Yeah. And I think they're still in the hunt to be top 5 so they can get that bye.
Yeah, absolutely. That's number one for them. But then, you know, it's going to be tough to win 4 games in 4 days, so they've got to be thinking, geez, we've got to stack as many wins as possible. And this is a Q1 for them. They don't have any other opportunities, so they've got to have this one.
Yeah, winning in Cincinnati is never easy. We've been saying it from the start that Xavier is a really good team. I think they got overlooked a ton just because of how tough their Big East schedule was. I mean,
the beginning of their schedule,
faced UConn
everybody forgot
twice.
about them.
Yeah, they faced St. John's twice before they played us even.
Didn't they have 2 overtime games too?
Yeah.
And then another game that got beat on the last shot. So
they lost
could
a couple of close ones
flip
as well.
that around.
Right.
They'd be right in the line for the conference title.
They could easily be 2, 3, you know, maybe 4 seed in the Big East right now. So we're definitely not going to take them lightly. And again, winning at Cintas is very difficult. I wasn't able to do it as a player. We've only done it a couple of times here in Mac's tenure. So definitely looking forward to seeing, you know, how we can influence winning as coaches. And, you know, it starts tomorrow in practice. Today's game, we're happy that we got the win, but, you know, Coach Mac has a saying that right when midnight hits, you flip that switch and you think about the next game. So we're going to, you know, start, you know, drilling these guys in practice tomorrow to see how we can get an advantage against a really good Xavier team who's also finding their legs at the right moment right now.
Yeah, they're really good.
So it'll be a good game.
Really good,
and,
really
you know,
good coach, and a guy who's very sick of seeing Kalkbrenner. He made it perfectly clear the last time he was here. So he's probably really excited, like, man, I hope they're on the other side of the bracket. I don't have to see that guy ever again.
I don't blame him. I know a lot of coaches are also thinking that. Whether or not they say it is a different thing, but I know they're certainly thinking
and
that.
all the times we said, man, how many years has that guy been in school when he played somebody? We can't do that anymore with him because everybody's saying that about Kalk, right?
We've relished having Kalk for 5 years, so I'll take that out of my lexicon even. I will no longer say such things.
JAHENNS, always a pleasure talking to you, man.
Appreciate you so much.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
And JAHENNS' appearance was sponsored by Care Minders Home Health Care. Terrific sponsor of Bluejay Banter. Want to thank them so much. And if you're in need of care for your injured, ill, or senior loved one, reach out to CareMinders Home Health Care. Their agency is comprised of certified caregivers who have many years of experience. You will receive versatile, flexible, customized care for your peace of mind and well-being. So give them a call at 402-532-1383. Or better yet, you might not be ready for their services right now. Go to caremindersnebraska.com. Check out all they have to offer, and then when the time is ready for you, you will know exactly what they will offer, and you can, call them up and say, hey, I see you offer this. This will fit my situation. And that number, again, is 402-532-1383. That's CareMinders Home Health Care. All right. So, I just got to say something, and I don't care if I'm bagging somebody or not. When Ross does games, he does the radio. He can't come. Oh, there's no way. Look at this guy. Look at this guy.
Hey.
Did his first radio appearance today, calling the game, and here he is right here in Let It Fly.
Dedication.
To help me out. Buddy, you're the best.
Appreciate
I just want to say it. Ross is, I think I'm going to delete his number off my phone right now.
I wouldn't have the opportunity.
We got to ask this first.
Man.
How was the call?
It was good. It was good.
Did you do a lot of research?
Definitely some room for improvement, but
well, it's your first one. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Go listen to Ross's first one, Stormberg's first one, Clement's first one. Yeah. They were all pretty shaky.
Yeah. I would say it wasn't too bad.
Did you like study up? Did you have?
Did a little bit of studying. DePaul's not too much homework there. It was more
Half
or less
their team's
just
gone tonight.
Yeah, more or less just statistical stuff for us. But
did you do this to John to start out? Well, John, they have a 6'4" guy at center, so I think we got to throw the ball inside.
Yeah. That was point of emphasis for me. Yeah, get the ball to cock.
More importantly, I gave you one test. Did you work my name into the broadcast?
I was trying. He kept cutting me off every time. I was trying.
Oh, he knew it was coming too. Probably.
I was trying.
I'm not letting you mention Kruger's name. Forget that. Damn Bishop. Well, we were talking with JAHENNS, man. It was pretty. JAHENNS is so positive.
Yep.
That was an ugly game.
Yeah, it was murky.
We had about 5 minutes of good play, and that was about it.
Yeah, it was tough. A lot of self-inflicted turnovers. Missed a lot of free throws, which we don't generally do.
Yeah.
Not shooting it at a high clip right now, though.
No, I think that's really the biggest thing, don't you?
Absolutely. I think that's kind of how we're going to make that next step once we just kind of start shooting it a little more consistently.
Yeah, I think the threes, like in the first half, we were 50% from the floor, but only 28 from three.
Yep.
And they were 41 from three. So,
right.
That right there.
And we're on pace to kind of make over 10, but held them under 10. Did a great job there. But, yeah, we just got to get better of cleaning up some little things, man.
Yeah.
I think we did do a great job of getting cock the ball early, right? I think that was clear. He had the advantage, but just so
especially in the second half. We really
absolutely.
Jammed it in there.
Absolutely. No Jemiah for a large portion of that game, which it was hard for him to get to a rhythm. So I think, too, just finding different chemistries. We had a lot of different lineups out there. Fedor, Fred, Mason actually got some decent run today, Trout. So just a lot of just different lineups that I don't think we're used to seeing. But that week off, I think we're still trying to find our edge, right now. And,
as I told JAHENNS, we better find it really quick because Xavier's coming here.
Have to.
Crazy. We had 18 assists tonight. I mean, that's because we were jamming it into Kalk, and he's turning around laying it in, so those are easy assists. The 13 turnovers against a team that really doesn't pressure you. That's the thing that's killed. If that was St. John's, you'd be like, all right.
It looked different, though, tonight. They were real handsy. They were, I would say, the aggressor tonight.
No.
They were, though.
No, they
were, though. They were in our shot. They were in our shorts.
But, we had a Big East officiating crew tonight. My God.
I know. We can't always blame the refs.
No, but come on. We were getting hammered out there.
We were.
Ashworth is getting abused sometimes. I mean, I saw on one sequence in our thing, we had a push that wasn't called. We got a shove that wasn't called, and we got a hack across the arm that wasn't called. Come on. And then on the other end, and that was Mac's point. I thought Mac was going to get a tee there. He was like, you're calling ticky-tack crap down here. We're getting mauled down there. And I haven't seen – I've watched a fair amount of DePaul this year. I haven't seen them be like this aggressive
I
like
haven't
they
either.
were tonight.
End of the year, they have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Right. And I just think they played to the horn, honestly. Extended the game, but yeah, they just came out with a great fight.
It might have been a smaller lineup too, might have helped them play that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they were cohesive, I would say. But we just got to do a better job of executing. Attention to detail.
Absolutely.
I know there was a lot of things in the first half where we had some laps on defense. Maybe that is due to no Jemiah for a great deal of time, but there's a lot of film that can definitely be watched after tonight.
I didn't think he had a very good game at all. Was Ashworth, and second half, to your point, second half he got the ball, a fast break. It was kind of when we were on a roll, got it in the wing. Fedor was wide open in the corner, and it wasn't so much that Fedor, because Fedor didn't shoot that shot, but he didn't pass it, and he delayed, then passed it. Had he passed it the first time, then Fedor, at this point, Kalk has his guy totally sealed. By the time Fedor got the ball and got the ball inside, now there's two guys there.
Yeah.
And it would have been an easy dunk.
Yeah.
And things like that, I think the average fan doesn't notice, like, that was a timing deal. Boom, boom. And then the play goes off as planned.
And that's kind of been his MO, kind of holding on to the ball a little too long, some late releases. But, that's just things that he's going to have to clean up on film, right? He is our playmaker, too, so some of those, are granted. But some of that is just getting off the ball a little earlier and just kind of getting that thing, advancing it up, which generally he does a great job of that. But sometimes he was just holding on a little too long.
Are you surprised we didn't see more Ty Davis tonight? I'm not saying run him out there for 8 minutes in a row. I'm saying, around those timeouts, run him out there for a couple minutes here, a couple minutes there. Why have Steven out there that amount of time? And when Ty got in, again, we've talked this all year. He has that one turnover.
Yep.
And then makes a great play down low, then comes down on the break, a good defensive play, comes down low, makes a great cross-court pass to a wide-open Trout who nails a three. And, he just made an immediate impact.
Yeah, I think it was their aggressiveness, honestly. I think that Matt kind of shot away and just wanted to get the guys back running, as a smooth ship right now. Everything's kind of a little wonky right now. So I think these core group of guys really, they're not gelling the way they were the past 3-4 games. And so I just think they're just trying to find that unity.
Kalk with a nice double-double tonight, 25-13.
Yep. Necessary. I was looking for 30, but
the quietest 16 points you'll ever see out of Steven, the fact that he didn't shoot any free throws. Usually gets some points at the line.
And a majority of that came in the second half. He wasn't as aggressive.
He had 5, and I think
he wasn't really even looking to score in the first half.
Jemiah had an unusually quiet night, and I think that's something we've got to look at. And he got in foul trouble. Granted,
he was out 12 minutes in the first.
Yeah, but you got to get him going early. If you get him going early, then it seems if he and you know what, he passed up some shots tonight that he normally takes. Like he drove in the lane in the second half. He had a 10-footer. I mean, that's usually an easy little jump shot for him, and he didn't take it.
He was out of rhythm.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
He was out of rhythm. You just saw it too. Sometimes on catch, the ball was coming off the hands a little sloppy. Those fouls just kind of put him in a back seat there. But got to give credit to the guys coming off the bench and provide the extra effort.
Kalk with 34 tonight, so that's a little less than he normally plays, so it's good to give him a little break. Obviously, Jemiah got a lot of break because of the foul trouble, but Steven still had 38
minutes. Yes, sir.
That's that golden time we've been talking about all year long where you say, man, if we could just get 2 less minutes.
Yep. And I used to want 38 minutes until I started playing it all the time. You be careful what you ask for type of thing. But, yeah, I just hope he's able to stay healthy and just kind of continue this high-level play that he's been.
But, hey, Fedor keeps.
Yes, sir.
Keeps improving, keeps playing. Didn't hit, probably the shots he wanted to hit tonight was 1 of 5 from 3, but made an impact on both ends.
Absolutely. Sliding the feet. Just being able to play make, right, too. Making those extra passes. He had a lot of hockey assists out there. Got on the rim. That was a great move
that was
there,
nice.
Too. But, yeah, I just think he's starting to look a lot more comfortable, not only just on offense but defense, too, and just as a finding his role on this team has been great to see. We
were talking with JAHENNS about this. Man, I think it was like 8 minutes to go. That building, the roof would have come off if Mason had hit that three.
Oh, yeah.
Because he that first shift he had in the game, man, he played great.
He did.
That was the Mason when he was a freshman, flying in for those offensive rebounds and hustle plays, and just tremendous.
Yeah, and, you know, his minutes have been limited, restricted, I guess you could say. And he has to just find other ways, you know, to make efforts and get the job done. You know, he's not doing it offensively, but, you know, he's making those extra efforts at the rim, getting us second chances, and he's finding a way to stay on the court.
It was right in line. It was right in line with my eyesight on that corner three. It was right on line, and I like, here it is.
Good.
Here it is. Here it is.
It looked good. It looked good.
There was just a big groan from the crowd.
Yeah, it looked good. He's waiting for a better time. You know, I didn't think.
So I told JAHENNS, I go, maybe the Big East tournament. He goes, no. How about beyond that? I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Like the way you're
Don't
thinking.
waste it on DePaul.
Like the way you're thinking.
Don't waste it on
Don't jump
DePaul.
way ahead, Mr. Coach.
Yeah.
So, worst call of the night. I got the worst call of the night. Right when Ty got the game, guy drove on him. You know, they'd kind of been backing Ashworth down because this guy's a little bigger. Was it Rivera?
Yep.
And Ty stood up to him, okay?
Right.
Went to the rim. Ty went straight up, first of all. The guy went into him, which generally the refs will not call.
Right. Lower body.
They called him. And not only that, I think Ty didn't even touch him on top. I think he blocked the ball.
Lower body.
Yeah, but the guy went into him.
Verticality is straight up and down.
Right. He went up. He went straight up and down. And the guy went into him.
You his body, like so.
Yeah,
he was
it was
able
a horrible call.
He was able to shift him a little bit.
Horrible call, Austin. Austin, if that would have been if that would have been against you, you would have been screaming bloody murder.
Yeah, fair. Fair. Refs wanted to keep him in the game though, so you know we were able to kind of see something.
I don't know about that. Come on.
What about the lemon though?
I bet you even Bishop complained about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You were sitting next to Bishop all night. You should have got a lot of bad calls.
Yep. I mean, there were a lot of bad calls, but it should be expected. It's to be expected.
What's a lemon? What are you talking about?
When they threw the lemon on the court. Did you see it?
Oh no, I was wondering what happened.
Yeah, somebody threw a lemon on the court.
Is that what it was?
Yep.
Why
John
would they
thinks
do that?
We didn't cover.
Oh, well, there we go.
Yeah. But yeah.
Well, that's what you think, right?
That's what you think.
Now, what was Ashworth saying? Was Ashworth?
I think he was trying to find the individual. And
because he was kind of like,
well, why would you do that type of thing? But yeah, it was all good fun, I guess. But nobody got hurt, nobody was harmed. So
well, it looked like an easy cover there for a while.
Well,
yeah. So you know, like we're talking with JAHENNS, you know, Butler was able to.
Where do you find a lemon though? I guess that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Well, they were on the club side, so maybe they had like lemons.
No. It was a full lemon. Like he brought that with him.
Maybe they grabbed it out of the thing at the club.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm sorry to keep going on that one, but I'm like, this guy had a lemon.
Well, at least I know what happened now.
Yeah.
I was like, why are we throwing stuff on the court with a 12-point lead with 8 seconds left?
That.
That was very strange. Very strange. So, we covered what's calling it unsung hero. Yeah,
you know you can go. Fedor. I'm going Fedor, man.
Oh, no, I'm going Mason.
Mason?
Yeah.
I like that.
Mason hustled his tail off out there tonight.
He did.
He worked hard. He worked hard at the defensive end. I thought he gave more resistance when he was out there.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not saying guys didn't get by him, but he gave more resistance. For a while there, we were giving no resistance. They were just going in on us with no resistance, which kind of upset me. But you know, if you haven't watched DePaul here and you watch this game, this is kind of the way DePaul plays.
Yeah.
Like at times you'll be like, yeah, man, I mean, they got something here, you know?
Not bad.
And then they'll go through a 5-minute stretch. You're like, ew,
right,
yeah, you know?
right.
So yeah, that's kind of the way they play. So I'm glad we didn't play them in Chicago. This could have been ugly. This could have been close, you know?
Could have been close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although then the focus is different. Yada yada.
It is. It is. Yeah. I don't know.
It's hard to say that.
Lucky to walk away with the W.
Yeah, I think
today.
so.
It was murky,
we're waiting on Jackson McAndrew. I hope he's still going to be here.
20-win season though.
Another 20.
14 out of 15, man. That's high level.
Yeah.
That's
wow.
yeah. That's
You were on
that
the
even
team.
made me shake my head a
You
little
were
bit.
on. You were on one of the teams that didn't get it.
Was I? Yeah, let's not talk about this, Tim. It's kind of like that Baylor game for me. It's a real sore spot. I've yet to watch that game. Honestly, I was
Oh
probably
God, why would you watch
clinically
it?
depressed.
I taped
after
every
that.
game. I didn't even watch that one.
Yeah,
I didn't even watch
no,
that.
that's-
I watched it a couple times, just like part of it, just to see like, okay, what were we trying to do here, and what were we doing, and what.
I will tell you, scouting report was to allow a lot of the individuals to shoot threes. They maybe shot at 25%. I know Cherry had on the year, and he came out and hit his first 3 in a row. But yeah, man, they just
I talked to the beat writer in the press room. He just looked at me and goes, it wasn't even close. This was far and away our best game of the year. He goes, we have not ever shot it like that.
Never. Yeah. Never. And then that zone gave us fits. But, yeah, I'm scarred for life for that one.
Sorry.
Yeah.
One game.
Yeah.
You came back, you beat Nebraska. That's all that counted.
Yeah.
Undefeated.
Yeah,
as you have pointed out several times.
That's fair.
Hey, let's talk about Discount Window and Doors of Omaha. Thank you so much for your sponsorship. They have a trusted reputation, industry experience, and they have the best products in the world and the best pricing you will ever see. I had windows put in my house. They were fabulous. The whole process from start to finish was outstanding. So if you want the same outstanding service and need windows, give them a call, 402-884-8989. That's 402-884-8989. I want to talk again about the pricing. The price, you will be blown away with their prices, and their quality is just as good as all the other manufacturers. So again, 402-884-8989. That's Discount Window and Door of Omaha. It's time now for Player Profile. Mr. Jackson, McANDREW, buddy, how's it going?
Doing pretty good. How about you?
That was kind of ugly game tonight, huh?
Yeah.
Kind of a mucked up.
Very ugly.
You know, I wouldn't say mucked up. Like we think of the days when we used to play Providence when Cooley was at Providence. Those games were like totally muck up affairs, right? It wasn't kind of like that. It was just kind of like disjointed. You know what I mean? Like
100%.
You guys kind of had trouble getting the field going, right?
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of flow to the game, a lot of flow to our offense. And
well, they were clearly, you could see in the first half, they were going to take 20 seconds off the shot clock before they shot it.
100%.
Yeah. And then the second half, you had that nice stretch where everything got going.
Yeah, no, that really got us going. It created that separation we needed.
Yeah.
Couldn't keep it like that the whole time. They kind of came back again, but and then we took another lead, big lead. But yeah, it was a ugly game, but always good to get the W. So
you got a W.
So we got
Austin was just telling me about that. Have you ever seen a lemon thrown on the court before?
That was my first time seeing that. That was nuts. I didn't realize what it was at first, and then they were telling me, but no, that was crazy.
like Austin goes, who brings a lemon to the game?
Right.
Like, I don't know.
Right.
Like, this is crazy.
It's crazy.
Crazy stuff. You know, sometimes they say freshmen kind of, you know, because you play, 20-plus games in high school? I mean, we're talking 30 now. Do you kind of feel like there was a little bit of a wall a few games ago, or like does it feel, you know, I mean, obviously the season's longer, but I mean, do you kind of feel that, like, not necessarily physically, just mentally probably more than anything?
Yeah, I've heard that term a lot, freshman wall.
Yeah.
Obviously it's a lot longer season than I'm used to.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say there's really a wall for me in the sense. I mean, like I said, yeah, season gets long. Obviously, you're playing a ton of games,
Sure.
but I feel like, I mean, every day there's still, we get to play basketball every day, and that, and so we take that for granted sometimes. But
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's fun.
Thank
like
you.
I enjoy it every single day, playing with my best friends and just working on getting better, locking in what we need to do for prep wise and stuff. So honestly, it never gets old for me. And I mean, I've heard that term a lot, but I don't really see a wall. Maybe you can make a case for, okay, like physically, mentally, all those things.
Yeah.
But still, it's like, it's just basketball.
Yeah, I mean, and plus, it's like there's so many guys at your position, too. It's not like, you know, we're just putting it all on your shoulders.
Right.
There's all these different, you know, some nights you might play 10 minutes, some nights you might play 30, some nights you might play 20, what have you. What's going on with your shot light right now? Does it feel good when it's leaving your hand?
Yeah, most of them feel good. There's a couple of them, last couple of games, I wish I could have got back. I know like exactly what I did wrong, and whether it's just trying to shoot it too fast or different footwork and that such and such. I mean, some might call it a slump, but I mean, my confidence is still at all-time high. I know what I
Well,
need
you're still
to do.
shooting them, so that's
Yeah.
good. That's good. Oh, that's good.
It's a good
That
thing.
means you have confidence.
But no, yeah, still definitely going to continue getting in the gym and keep working out outside of practice to get it right. But
I'll tell you one thing, though.
Yeah.
The one thing I really like about you, no matter what's going on, if they're going in, not going on, you still have, like, the right arc. Like, your shot is the same arc every time. Like, tonight, Fedor hit a couple, and then that next one, I was like, ooh, it went in, it was right on. But
Right.
it was a little bit flatter, and then those tend to go in and out. You know, that's why I like you shoot with the same arc every time. So that's consistency, and that's, you know, and I'm sure you've got footwork things or your keys and things like that.
Right. No, yeah, and just trying to lock in on doing the same shot every time, no matter where you're at on the court. I think that's big. So
How's it been just transitioning to pace of play?
yeah, it's been obviously it was a big learning curve when I first got here, over the summer, and then an even bigger one when we started first playing games. But I think I've really gotten up to speed with that, and it's really just it's become normal now, which has been really good. I think everything's slowing down, and it has been for a while now. So
That's great.
yeah.
One thing you've been doing really well is rebounding, and especially kind of cleaning up those rebounds that bounce out to the free throw line and cleaning up. Is that something you kind of focused on once you got used to the flow of the game and so forth? You kind of saw that, hey, there's kind of a gap there because Kalk obviously is
Right.
commanding so much presence down low. There's kind of that gap in that 10, 12-foot range.
Yeah, I think it's definitely been a point of emphasis for me, and just impacting the game in as many ways as I can. Because obviously I might not get a ton of shots one night, or they might not be going in. So I got to find ways to, affect the game in other ways. I think rebounding is one I can do that. Defensively, just always making sure I'm boxing out and attacking boards, and offensively too, always going to the glass and trying to get those extra possessions for us. So I think that's been definitely a point of emphasis for me.
Yeah. We were just talking about a little bit ago. Man, I'm sure you guys on the bench too, and I don't know if you were on the court at that time, but man, everybody always wants Mason to have 1C when you go through the hoop, don't they?
Everyone does, yeah, and it's coming. Dude,
Yeah.
It's coming. I mean, he makes them in practice all the time, so it's definitely
Yeah,
coming.
no, in warm-ups I was watching him. His form was good.
Form's great,
He was knocking them down, and it's just a matter of time. But, man, what great hustle he brought in that first shift he came in.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and same with him. He affects the game in so many different ways, too. That's very helpful for us.
Well, I'm sure you've been talked to about the place you're going to Saturday.
Yeah.
Cintas Center is not an easy place to come away with a win, and it's a very, very good Xavier team. I mean, they gave us everything we could handle when they were here.
Right.
Are you looking forward to the trip to Cincinnati?
I am. I'm really looking forward to it. So I visited there too. So I got to see all that, and it's obviously a super cool arena, and with all the fans in there, it's gonna be a great environment. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
We would have been crushed had you gone there. You know why?
Yeah.
We lost a Minnesota kid to Xavier, J.P. McCurra.
Oh, yeah.
He was a Minnesota kid.
Yeah.
And it was between Creighton and Xavier.
Really?
At the time. Yeah. So, yeah. Although, we'll always remember that shot he threw up at the Big East tournament after Marcus Foster drained one. His went in and out, and we won the game.
Yeah.
That was a big big. It's a big game. They need it. They're fighting for their
Desperate,
NCAA lives and trying to get that bye. You guys need it because it's the last, quality win you can throw on your resume to move up the seed list a little bit.
Exactly.
So it's a big, and you win that, and I think you're one win away then from clinching second place.
I think so. Yeah, that sounds right.
So, and that's huge, because there haven't been. I guess your junior year, you guys were second in the league, obviously behind Villanova. But other than that, the year the tournament got canceled, we were number 1 seed. But other than that, I don't think there's been a year where we've been the number 2 seed. So this is a huge deal for us. And plus, you're opposite the bracket of St. John's, UConn, who have the most fans there. So, hey, it's a big deal. Big deal.
Definitely.
How's school going?
It's going
Keeping
good.
up everything?
Yep, keeping up with everything, staying on top of my work.
What are you majoring in again?
Business.
Business.
Yep.
There you go. Austin, he's majoring in business.
Basketball, I think. Just basketball.
Yeah, I agree.
I think he loves the round ball. So got
Listen to
great
a guy who's not in school anymore.
He's got a great future. No, he's
Yeah.
got a great future. So
You know,
yeah.
Austin called his first
Worried about
game
that.
tonight on the radio.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he was luckily right on there when the lemon came flying
Yeah,
down.
yeah,
He was
yeah.
all over it.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Well, Jackson, stick with us just for a second. I just want to say to the folks, hey, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us on YouTube. Make sure to hit that subscribe and like button. Our next show will be Saturday. What's the tip time, Mr. Chatton?
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock? 3 o'clock?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll be on about dinner time.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
With the post-game show. Pull it up. Tune it in. We're going to talk about Jackson here knocking down about 6 threes. And a big win over Xavier. So join us then. Thanks so much. And we'll see you Saturday, and go Jays.